so terrible about a child screaming? Why should it disturb us? Just because we happen to be there to hear it? There are children suffering everywhere. There are thousands of children. And there are old people, too, who shrivel and waste away like grass without rain because they're alone. And so few of us seem concerned or even to know. They are the lost, the helpless, the hopeless, everywhere. Why do these things disturb us? Because they happen in our prosperous city of St. Louis? Why should there be so many who need help in St. Louis in 1959? Well, there are many reasons. There are the sick and the afflicted. This is a child with cerebral palsy. Sometimes she screams at night. The world is usually beyond her, even in the small things. Body, hands, legs, mouth will not obey. The mind cannot control. It's hard to make herself understood. She cannot, without help, without love, without training, do many of the simplest things every child takes for granted, never even thinks about. With care, money, professional training, with the new techniques, there is hope for the victims of cerebral palsy. Without these things, the world is just too much. Who else needs help in Greater St. Louis in prosperous 1959? In the center of the stream, the current is swift. It is not for eyes and legs that have grown weak, hands that shake. Things slip past. The world falls gradually away, and sometimes it's hard to realize that they're gone. Savings, livelihood, friends, loved ones. Families scatter, or are too poor to help. There were days, but that was long ago. Where'll he go? Who needs an old man? Even in civilized St. Louis in 1959, prosperity is for those who have money or can earn it. But in St. Louis in 1959, there are also pleasant backwaters, gentle shoals, United Fund homes for the aged, in which old people can rest and watch the race go by. There are Golden Age clubs where they can find company and activity suited to their pace and friends like themselves. Who else? Who else cries, however silently, for help? Those who are crippled in different ways, who must live in the jungles. For man makes his own jungles, at least as cruel as nature's. In any jungle, man-made laws don't count for much. You can't survive alone. You have to run with the pack. And when a pack runs, there are always enemies. If they are not stopped, if they are not shown some other way of life, some other way to use their energies, what'll happen? They can learn that all men are not their enemies in some place where they can learn by example, where they are made welcome, where they can play and work and belong. How long does the roll go on? Who else in St. Louis needs help? The child whose working mother cannot keep her during the day. The individual disaster. The community disaster. Many thousands, and each problem is different. Which is the most terrible? None of these. The most terrible hasn't happened yet. It would be to need the help that the 122 agencies of the United Fund can give, and to find no open door, no willing ear, no outstretched hand. What would happen then? Our nation was organized to promote the general welfare. Our religion says, love thy neighbor. How will it be with nation, state, and religion if we prove these ideals to be lies? How would it be with our city and our homes? A great dramatist has defined the essential element of tragedy as being that which could have been prevented. If a child should die from an unpreventable and incurable disease, and there was no way she could have been saved, then it certainly would be a very sad and terrible event. But if that child could have been saved, but for our neglect, or our laziness, or our lack of generosity, then that is a tragedy. Don't let these tragedies happen in St. Louis. The 122 agencies of the United Fund are ready, experienced, and eager to help, if you will only back them up. Please give till it helps. Please give your fair share, at least an hour's pay per month. Please do it now.